What's up everyone, Alex here. We're finally getting around to the PlayStation 2 video for the Retroid Pocket 3. We're using AetherSX2 and we're also using the latest alpha build. So that's one you have to sideload and not one used from the Google Play Store. So I'm going to quickly show you when you download it, and I'll leave a link to it. You need some kind of APK installer. So I already have one installed. I'm just going to go to it now. It's called APK installer. Oh, the bottom of the touchscreen is not great on the Retroid Pocket 3, and I will open it. Yeah, it's alright. Go to install APK, and I have put this onto the Retroid Pocket 3 with a USB from my computer, and here I would just tick it, install APK. It'll ask you if you want to update over the original or whatever. You say yes, and then it's done, and then if you don't want it on there any longer, you just delete, and you don't have to connect it again to delete it. So that's cool. And now let's have a look at PlayStation 2. So just like MMJR, I have what I call my base settings. So these are settings across the entire app. And when you install AetherSX2 for the first time, it'll ask you if you want to run in safe settings or not safe. I think. So I just pick safe and I change things as I need to. So they're pretty much the same. So I'm just going to go through my settings here. Most of them will be what they will be on safe. I like to show speed because that's the only setting I really need to look at. There's nothing else really there to look at. And then with system, we're leaving these on normal 100% 0. These are already on. I turn warn about unsafe settings off because I don't really need it. I think that was on originally. OpenGL, but between games, most of them are going to change to Vulkan because that's going to be best for this device. We're going to aim for 1x resolution because it can't really do better than 1x, and to be honest, it doesn't look that much better when you keep going up, so that's around the performance we want to get. We don't really want to go lower than this. That's when it starts to look really bad, but there might be one or two games where we might have to go to 0.75, and then set it to widescreen 16:9 to use the whole screen. Enable widescreen patches. I've turned this on now, enable no interlacing patches. I saw someone on Discord had turned this on, so I thought I'd leave it on as well. Host VSync, host refresh rate to the screen. And we leave threaded representation on because when we do use Vulkan, it can improve performance on the Mali devices, which this has. And that's about it really. At some points we will be changing synchronization mode to async mix. Basically that means the audio won't stutter even if the performance does. And we'll just look down here quickly. You can see what's on. Oh, I hate when it does that. We'll just do it over here. Anti-blur? Was that always on? Yeah, sure. Skip presenting, duplicate frames, I think that's always on. Sync to host refresh rate, I think I turned that on as well. And that about does it. So now we're going to have a look at the games. The first one we're going to have a look at, someone requested it, so I might as well. I've actually tested this, it looks really good, is Ape Escape 3. And we're going to check with each game. So if you want to tweak the settings per game, you press like the back button or however you got your setup, press the I symbol here, and now you can do per game settings. This is going to be something we do with most games, set it to 50% -3. We're using Vulkan. And not in this game, but some games we're going to turn off hardware download mode. We're going to put that to disabled. I think that's it for this game. And there are quite a few games I want to get through, so we're going to try and get through these at a good pace.
Sony Computer Entertainment America.
So I was actually quite surprised how well this game runs. I'm just going to put my name in quickly. That's not my name. I don't think the younger generation will ever know that kind of typing. It's actually a kind of efficient way of typing. So we're just going to pick a character quickly. So this game, I remember having a little bit of trouble on the Odin for one reason or another. On the Retroid Pocket 3 though, Plus that is, it actually runs really well. We're just going to quickly rush through this and get to the actual first level. This is just basically a... how to catch a monkey level. I also do want to point out, like, I don't have the best recording equipment, but this screen does look a lot better than it is in the videos.
Good job. Captured monkey.
And I wish I could, like, show that through the video. I'd have to get better recording equipment.
This is the secret, the warp pad that if you get on the, we've got a game-saving.
Ooh. Alright, so when I first tested this level, I just ran right in and I was like, I'm expecting this to start getting quite choppy, and it runs really well, as you're about to see. Great news if you're an Ape Escape fan. I never played these. Great tune as well. So there are some little dips, but mostly it runs pretty damn smooth. I love this area, man. This is one of the best intros to a game ever. You see like these two married monkeys come out. You proceed to beat the shit out of them and catch them. No honeymoon for you. Leave me alone. That's really great. Really great performance for this game. We're going to move on to the next one. I think we're on Burnout 3 now. Okay, so this one's special, and I'm kind of glad I put this video off. I actually tried to do this video a few times, and for one reason or another, I like mucked it up. I got the performance weird for some reason. So this is Burnout 3, but it's a special version of it because I got the ISO of the game, and it's been patched with... I forget the name. I will leave links in the video description of where to get this and kind of what to do, but you're basically patching out the blur and the fog effects in the game. And what this means is that because there's less things to process, the game is now running a lot better, and it's surprising how much better it's running. The only downside, I've only tested one track, and the skybox is like rubbish. It's just all black, but it's kind of cool. It's like you're racing in an eclipse. So I've got a save state for the first American level, and I'm just going to quickly, I'm also going to turn that down a bit because this game gets kind of loud. We're going to have a look at the settings. So we've got 50% underclock here, a mild underclock. There was a, so I've got to give credit to this guy on Discord who found this. His name is Skywalker6705. I wouldn't have known about this patch without him, so thank you very much. And he recommended putting mild underclock to moderate too, but I found that was really slowing the game down. Like, even though it said 100%, it felt slow. So I left it this, and it's fine. And I'm playing at 1x with Vulkan, even though it doesn't say that here in my global settings. That is 1x, and yeah, it runs really well. Let's go. So the start of this race in this area is about 80, 90. Even on the Odin it would get like that. Just the start of this race is kind of crap. But this is really cool if you're willing to play Burnout like this. When I first tried Burnout 3 on here, it was so bad. It was like 50%. It was like utterly unplayable. And now it's like actually playable. We get good speeds around this area. And it's all thanks to the game being patched and getting rid of those effects. So yeah, I'll leave links to those. If you try to play a regular version of Burnout that's not patched, it's going to run really slow. This is also the NTSC version of the game. I should probably note as well, when you get to late areas in the game, such as Europe, Asia, you get some denser tracks, so it's quite possible that it might start getting worse the later tracks you get to. But I was quite excited to show this because it's you literally can sit and play this and it works. Previously, I wasn't even going to show this game in the showcase, so I was going to say that the game doesn't work, it's trash, don't even try. So as long as you have a PC and you can patch this game, yeah, you could probably play this. So yeah, that's Burnout 3. We're going to have a quick look at Castlevania Curse of Darkness. Oh, sorry, I thought it was a PlayStation button. Castlevania Curse of Darkness. This one's pretty simple. I think it's 50% under clock. Yep, and Vulcan. Should also remember that I have a save state. Turn it back up a bit. I also forgot to say that when I made my gamepad profile, I swapped the stick and the D-pad, so for movement I'm just using the D-pad because I find it really comfortable to play this way. Also in this game in particular, I would swap the left and right stick if I was going to make a custom profile for this game, because I don't like inverted camera. So yeah, that wall right there when it crashes, that's a really good test for this game. Because it slows down quite a bit. If you put the resolution to 1.5 or 2x, that wall gets very sluggish. We're just going to run over here and beat up some of the enemies in this water terrain because it's a little bit larger an environment. It's weird that when you target in this game, when you move away, you just run around like you normally do. So yeah, if you're up for some Castlevania, that runs really well. Now, one of my personal favourites, not everyone's favourite, is Chaos Legion. I finished this whole game, so we're using one of the later levels in this game, and that's quite loud. The settings we have for this game are 50%, Vulcan, and hardware download mode is set to disabled. That's very important. That's the reason this game is going to run really well. And it does run pretty well. I remember it used to be the case earlier on in AetherSX2's development. I had an Odin, well, I do have an Odin, and this wouldn't play on the Odin. And then when they made more updates to the game, and it then became aware that you could turn hardware download mode off, this game was instantly playable. It was incredible. So yeah, this is by Capcom. It's not like one of their best games, but it starts off a bit sluggish and the levels are a bit simple, but if you give it a chance and you start like leveling up all the monsters in this game and taking their abilities, you start making like a really badass character. And in a weird way, farming is kind of fun in this game. But yeah, it's not for everyone. So it does dip a little bit here and there, but even with like huge amounts of chaos going on, it's still pretty smooth and a very playable experience. Oh no, I've done that accidentally before. I've just turned software renderer on. Don't accidentally do that, although it will run very, very slow. Alright, next game we're going to have a look at will be Devil May Cry 3. Now this one is, it's weird, like it runs pretty well in some areas and some it doesn't. So we got 50% underclock. Sorry. We're using OpenGL rather than Vulkan. That was actually working better for me. And hardware download mode disabled is disabled. Wow, I can't talk. And it's kind of strange in that, so the start of the game and the second level run fine. You get to like this area, it gets pretty slow in this small area. And I just wanted to show that off so you know that, you know, there's going to be areas in this game apparently that are going to go a little bit sluggish. I am actually fairly curious now. I'm sure I've tested this, but, you know, I do this a lot. I second guess myself. I'm going to try a mild underclock here and see what that's like. No, that's not good. I can't do that. So that's a good example for me. If you use the cycle skip underclock and like even though it says 100% in the corner, if it feels slow, don't do it. It's not worth it. If it's slower than this, then that's not good. Get my ass kicked. So I played through this level. This is mission 3, but I didn't buy any of the abilities, and now I'm regretting not getting Stinger, because then I could actually get through this a lot quicker. And I forgot to put Swordmaster on. So basically, I'm not going to get up to the boss, or because there's too many games for me to show. Really, I just wanted to show when you get to the next big room, which is the like the strip club room, because that's an area you can rotate the camera the whole way, and there's like quite a lot of fighting in there. But the thing is, it runs smooth. Sorry, it runs really smooth in there. So let's get him over here and get him into the... and just spin this camera around, because it's just really smooth in here. That kind of surprised me, because the other area is so slow. I don't know how to play. You gotta swing on the pole. You just have to. Can't hit anyone though. Alright, that's a decent test to Devil May Cry 3. Next game we're gonna have a look at is Final Fantasy X. This is always going to be a popular one. This was a game that was always well optimized for AetherSX2, and it definitely shows because it's really good on this. So the settings are no underclocking and Vulkan. I did want to increase the resolution to like 1.5, but when I got to Oh, sorry, I didn't pick load state. When I got to this part of the game, you're basically running towards Sin and taking monsters out. And then you get to this big one that keeps using Demi. And when this effect happens here and he uses Demi, I found a higher resolution was just slowing the game down a bit. I probably could put an underclock on, but it runs so smooth. And to be honest, most PlayStation 2 games just look really good on this screen. Get this boss to do Demi a couple of times. After this fight, you have a fight where there's those creatures that are like in front of you and behind. And I'm just going to spend a little time fighting this boss. Mini-boss, rather. Just to give you a bit of a demonstration that it runs really nicely. It is pretty amazing, dude. I actually, I haven't touched my Odin for quite a while. I used to play my Odin a lot. And the thing is, because this is so slim and light and so easy to play, what I've been doing actually, I've been playing SSX2 using Dolphin MMJR. And it's just been playing, like, beautifully the whole time. I'm having a blast playing it. It's dead. So it's running really great. I haven't tested a lot of that game, but I know it's been well optimized. God Hand, next one, that runs amazingly. And I'm so glad that it does, because like, if only some games were going to work on the Retroid Pocket 3, I'm glad that this is one of them, because it's a super awesome game and more people should check it out. 50%. Haven't even changed it to Vulkan. I don't even know if I've tried it in Vulkan. It's just running so great in OpenGL. Wow, she bitch slapped me. Ow. See, what other game do you know? Can you just stomp the crap out of someone? Except for Dead Space. Oh yeah, you can also dodge like a boxer in this. It's cool. You can sidestep. Oh. the dodging as a boxer works really well, by the way. So that's... and there was a lot of enemies there, so that was actually running really well. Next thing we have a look at is God of War 2. Now this is one where, you know, it'll be up to you if you decide you like how this plays. So, we're in the first area of the game. We are using 50% underclock. We're using a mild underclock here. I think going any more than that's a bit too much. We're using Vulkan with 1x. And, yep, haven't changed hardware download mode. And it sort of runs around 100. It's very playable, but it's not like the buttery smooth God of War you know. And that's kind of because of the underclock. What it feels like to me is instead of a God of War 2 at 60 FPS, it's like a God of War 2 at 30 FPS. I'm fairly sure. I haven't actually played all of God of War 2, but I'm fairly sure some people have told me before that there's areas later on in the game where it gets quite hard to run for one reason or another, so... Killed them all. It's weird, I have played God of War 3, and I've played God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. I really like the new ones. Whereas, so loads of people love the classic God of War games. I had fun playing 3, but I'm way more of a Devil May Cry fan. I'll tell you, if it wasn't for the new ones, like the new games make me want to play the old ones. I really like what they've done with Kratos as a character. Oh, you know what? Have I done this? I'm going to double check this. So I just heard there that the sound got a bit like slow and it didn't need to. So, yep, in async synchronization mode, set it to async mix. And that way the music's not going to sound slow. So even if the game drops down to like 90, 80, you're not really going to feel it. Whoa, I don't know if I've seen him do that attack. Right, that's a good demonstration of this game. I have to keep reminding myself there's actually a lot to get through. Next game we're going to have a look at is Gran Turismo 4. This one's pretty hit and miss, and I need to explain something about this one as well. So we're going to open this quick save, and then we're going to have a look at the settings. So in the settings, I've had this set to 50%, mild on the clock here, Vulkan, and then hardware download mode disabled. I'm not sure if this one's necessary, but I had this one in my Odin settings, so I've also turned on GPU palette conversion. And I'm doing like the first standard race, I think, in arcade mode. And it kind of runs between 80 and 100, but you get to some corners and it sort of like slows down a bit. I'm going to show the car as well, because if you show the car, it adds a bit more for the game to run. So I want to push it. And you can see, like, going around that corner a bit, it slows down somewhat, but it's not bad. But depending on the races you pick. So if you go to New York, for example, New York's one that is kind of difficult to run in certain areas of it. Now, Gran Turismo 4 is not a game I think I would really play, but I'm sure there's some people who would really want to play this and go, maybe, you know what, let's have a look at, oh no, let's have a look at the resolution. Let's try setting it to 0.75 and see if we get a bit more performance out of that. Okay, did I accidentally change something? Did I accidentally change the graphics? No, that is Vulkan. That felt very slow. I'm just going to put it back to global. Weird. Right, let's have a look at a couple other tracks. I have to use the stick. I've also, in the in-game options, I've went to the video settings and set it to 1080. Can I show this? Let's have a look. So, man, really long loading. So I've gone to screen. I've set it to 16:9 and HD TV 1080. I really wish I could like speed through these. Sorry, let's just gotta get comfortable again. These videos get quite long. And I don't want to spend forever showing this game, so I'm just going to show a city course. Although I'd really like to check out one of the rally courses. But yeah, so we're going to pick a car. Ford Mustang, why not? It gets really slow here for some reason. And then going to pick my color when it lets me. But the reason why it's doing this might be because of what I'm about to do, so I'm just going to wait for a moment because it will let me pick my color. Or did I just pick my color? Sorry, maybe I'm oh, it loaded. Okay, that's odd. That's the first time that's happened to me. So when you get to there, if it hangs up and it doesn't do anything at all, you need to change this underclock back to 0. Otherwise, it won't go forward. And that's happened to me a few times. So, yeah, that's strange that it actually loaded. And now I'm wondering if I picked my color and didn't even know. I must have. So the starts of these races always look a bit slow, a bit choppy. And you can't skip them, which is frustrating. They look nice. It's kind of weird that you can do that with your fingers and the audio's. Oh, it's such a weird placement for the speakers. I like to rest my fingers there sometimes. So the speed's pretty good, but it feels kind of slow. Like slower than usual. I don't know. And based on the Burnout free footage, if you're thinking there's some kind of patch to like remove some stuff, I really doubt it. I think this is what you're gonna get. You can't patch this game any further. And I need to brake, man. But yeah, you get around this corner and it's thus. This stretch of road is usually quite a hard one for the system to do. This was similar on the Odin as well. And that's pretty much the experience of this track. You'll get some runs that are decent, you get some corners that are slow, and then you get some moments around this track where it will just slow down a bit more because of what's on the screen. I can't judge the speed. So yeah, I wouldn't try and play this the way it is, but I think some people would say you can. You might be able to squeeze a bit more performance, changing one or two things, but this is the ideal kind of like settings I would have it set. Ooh, that corner. Alright. So, that's Gran Turismo 4. The next game we're going to have a look at is... Oh, I love checking out Metal... So, it's actually, these two games surprised me. Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. I thought these games were going to run like ass. And they don't. No, kind of. I still can't completely say that you can play the whole game. But here's the settings I have. 50% underclock. With Vulkan, we have hardware download mode disabled. I also, let me double check. No, we haven't touched GPU palette conversion. And it's a tiny bit slow here, but it mostly runs alright. Did I just hurt myself? Now I should address that, like, when you get to the later areas of the tanker, such as the holds with where there's like 50 American soldiers in there, whatever, that's probably going to play like ass. It's going to be slow as hell. But I'm honestly like really surprised that a lot of this is running as well as it does. Oh man, I tried to unequip. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Now the next room is kind of an odd one. As soon as we take out the soldier, the room is going to run a lot better. So we come in and it's kind of slow. I think it has something to do with like his shadow rendering. Because once we take him out, his shadow basically disappears because he lays on the floor and there's like no real shadow to cast. And then it's better. So yeah, pretty good. I'm also going to show the Olga boss fight because that's when it's not going to run great either. So I wanted to just show that, you know, it's not going to be perfect throughout and there's definitely going to be some bad spots. I guess in moments like these, you could turn the underclock way up just to get the fight done. But it's going to be running about 80% unless you are going first person. I'm curious to check that out actually. So let's have a look at, let's just put it all away. Can you not skip this? Oof, no, that's not good. Let's just see the mild underclock and then go from there. So no, it doesn't really help with making the gameplay any smoother. I think you're just gonna have to leave it like this, and that's the best you're gonna get from it. Oh, my gun's not equipped. And yeah, another good time to remind you that, you know, the audio's slow. Oh, async is on, so it can't be perfect all the time. Anyway, we're not going to be able to get anything more out of that. So that's Metal Gear Solid 2. Metal Gear Solid 3, also surprisingly, works a lot better than I expected. Why do I have 3? Oh, I know why. So when you get to the first location, that area runs quite well until you run through the mud. There's some alligators there and that gets a bit slow. And the settings we have here are 50% underclock, and we're using Vulkan. Hardware download mode is disabled. I can't actually remember if that's necessary, but it's on. And just double checking. No, we've not. And it's alright. So we're basically just going to run through this whole area, getting shot, getting alert, because that way we're going to get more enemies on screen and more going on, and I can show you the actual performance when that stuff's happening. The next area, there's like a very long bridge, and having all the enemies there, it's going to start slowing down. But because of those performance dips, it's actually, that would actually encourage you to play this game stealthy. Because you'll have like less enemies on screen, no one's alert. We also have something else we can do to this game to make the performance a bit better. This is running a little slower than I remember. You can also use those, or you know, those old GoldenEye 64 speedrun tips, where they basically run through the whole game looking at the floor because they get higher frame rates. Oh man, I can never seem to run across this bridge without falling off it. It's so annoying. Well, we'll just load state and go to the next area, because this is one I like to test. It's a good little location with lots of enemies. So we get like a good view of all this. And it's quite a lot to take in. But to be honest, it's not as bad as I would expect it to be. So the other thing we can do to make this game play better, I'm going to do the exact same save state, except we're going to go into the options menu in the game, and we're going to change the camera to normal. So this is the way that Metal Gear Solid 3 was made in the first place. And because the camera is usually like pointing down and not showing you everything, like giving you the freedom to look at everything, it's actually like looking at a lot less in that area, which is making it easier to render and perform. Also, if you were thinking it, don't even try to emulate this on the 3DS. Not only will the performance be bad, but the 3DS game is made to be played at 20 frames per second, I think, which is just terrible. So, I would have loved to like test more of this game, but you know, it's not bad. I would definitely feel encouraged to play more with that performance. Okay, next game we have a look at is Onimusha, Dawn of Dreams. I think this is the first one I ever tested, and it runs really well. We're going to have a look at the settings. So we have 50% underclock, and we've left it on OpenGL. We're not going to change it. But hardware download mode is disabled. I'm not sure if I thought that added a bit more performance, but I left it on anyway.
One has fallen without realizing his final hope.
Also, I'm going to double check the audio, excuse me, and async is on. So if the game dips to like 90%, the audio is going to sound fine, and maybe we're not even really going to notice that dip. So if you know Onimusha at all, this game is way more arcadey than those.
Much has been destroyed. Many have perished.
We're just going to run through to the next bit because it's a pretty cool scene. We got these like massive gaiju, is it gaiju? Gaiju monsters duking it out in the background as we like take out these monsters. Yeah, dude, this is really impressive to me. Like, no matter what you can and can't play on the PlayStation 2, for £150 or $150, this is pretty sweet. Runs really well. We've got to check out Resident Evil 4. This is one that was really well optimized for this emulator as well. I'm just going to check out this first area with all the... is it Gyarados? in the village. So there's no underclock, and we are using OpenGL still, and not even hardware download mode. So it's pretty base settings. And even with all the monsters, all these people we have to fight, it still stays pretty close to 100 the whole time. Oh, I can't play. Let's get loads of them on screen as much as we can. So this is also on the GameCube. It was originally on the GameCube. This is probably going to run really well on there too, on MMJR. I don't know if it'd run better on MMJR or MMJR2, but I've always found now that this has been really well optimized for PlayStation 2 with AetherSX2, that this is probably the best way to play this game because you get the additional Ada content. It just runs really nice. What does R2 do? I can't remember. There's also the Wii version of this game, which I've never actually attempted to emulate on either this or the Odin. So yeah, even doing all that, we haven't had any dips really. So yeah, this game is, I would hope, is absolutely playable throughout the whole game. Yeah. Let's finish off by letting that guy chop our head off. There we go. Good stuff. SSX Tricky runs. Ooh, not free. Tricky. I remember having problems with Tricky on MMJR. I think it works fine on MMJR2 or MMJ, but on PlayStation 2 it runs fantastic. 50% underclock. We have Vulkan, and we have to have disabled for hardware download mode. Then it will run absolutely smooth. So when I first tested this, when I got the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, I was kind of disappointed. The performance wasn't very good. But it was Vulkan that was like the key to a lot of this stuff. Oh, I really miss that. See, in SSX3 they give you the ability to recover, which is so helpful. Oh man, I gotta remember that. If I play on the capture, I'm not gonna get these jumps right. How did she fall? What? I used to be, I was super addicted to this game when it came out. I remember coming home from school and trying to get the best times, mostly the best show-off points. And I used to make a videotape and send the score into a magazine. But I am definitely not showing that right now. It's kind of hard to play this one when I'm recording. Yeah, I can't. Because the way I'm recording this is I have a boom mic in front of me, but it's also what's holding my camera in. So it's kind of like in front of my face, and I can't really see much. So I have to look at the capture on the monitor to play the game. I'm getting one tricky. Maybe I'm getting two trickies. Uh-oh. Alright, that's good. Run's great. I'm going to have a look at Shadow of the Colossus. This one's a little bit disappointing. You can kind of get it playable, but it's not. There's areas in the game where it's just not going to look great. So the settings we have are 50% underclock. We're using a mild underclock for the second one, and we're using Vulkan with hardware download mode is off. I can't remember if that's necessary. And I found this is like the smoothest we're probably going to get this to play. Now on this save file I've already like taken out 3 of the Colossus. I think the third one was the giant dude with like a sword for an arm. And yeah, there's just going to be lots of moments where it's just kind of slow. I'm not really sure about this one. I feel like I've seen a couple of videos where it did run a little better, but even so, I know, like, coming up here, for example, we go through this little dark forest area, and then there's this, like, wide open area where we're going to start fighting the next Colossus, and it's so slow. I think you could probably turn the mild underclock to like a moderate or maximum, but it's not gonna do a lot. So I wish I knew if there was like another setting here that would like just make this a bit better. It's like every time I play this on the Retroid Pocket 3, I'm just like, I must be missing something. There must be something to make it better, because I feel like there was one time I played this and it was running a lot better than this, but look, we'll get up to around this corner and you'll see. That it was always going to be difficult. I mean, look at that, dude. There's so much to see there. So maybe I'm missing something, but it's just, if you've played this game, imagine the last boss fight. Okay, massive boss, massive area, lots of effects going on. Can you really see yourself one way or another getting to that fight and going, yeah, this game will be playable? So unfortunately, no, I don't think it's worth trying to play this one. You can always stream it from your PlayStation 5 or whatever, play the new one. Now we've got down here, it's a bit smoother. There's like a... Ooh! There's like a giraffe Colossus over here. We'll get him to stand up and then we'll show some Colossus action. So yeah, not really a great demo of this game, but it's the truth. Okay, next game we're going to have a look at Silent Hill 2. I don't really need to show a lot of this, but it does run really well. It even ran really well on the Odin, like without having to change anything. So we're just going to check that it is not even underclocked. We haven't changed a damn thing. And it's just smooth. So these are just the global settings. And So I haven't gone like right into town. I just tested around this area and ran around the path ahead of us. But if something was to slow the game down, we've got plenty of options we've not even touched to try and help with that, so I would assume this one's very playable. And I'll just run around here for a little bit so you can see that it even the fog doesn't slow anything down. It's just runs nice. Didn't even dip at all. Good stuff. Next game we're going to have a look at is Spider-Man 2. Now this one like kind of blew my mind. I was like, there's no way Spider-Man 2 is going to run on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. Settings we've got are 50% underclock, Vulkan, and that's about it. Now this is one of the games that actually got well optimized as well, and this is at 1x and the game runs really well. Maybe to start off with, it isn't for a moment, but then it will be. So I played this whole game. I played this whole game on my Odin, and so I've got like most of the abilities in the game. So Spider-Man's traveling as fast as he's gonna travel. I think I've got max speed, and that helps to test things out because you're moving around the map at a pace which could be bad for some hardware. Ooh. So what we'll do is we'll do a couple of missions so you can see like everything going on, like if there's some enemies to fight, we can see if the speed changes at all.
Yeah, it's me.
God, I really don't like these shoulder buttons that much. It feels like the way I'm holding them, it feels like I have to really push them down.
Crime doesn't pay. Whatever. Break time is over.
I thought I wasn't going to make it.
Spider-Man just showed. Is that all you got?
That spinning kick move is so damn good, and you don't get it for ages. I've forgotten all the moves, so I'm just going to be spamming buttons pretty much. Oh, is Spider-Man dead? Christ. Yeah, I find it so annoying after having to do stuff like the D-pad and hold the triggers in. It's just not a very good way to grip, and you feel... Well, for me, it makes my fingers uncomfortable. Let's do one more mission. No, I'm not. You the man. Don't tell anyone I died. I remember when this game like finally worked on the Odin and it ran so well. I was so happy. I ended up playing the whole thing.
Talk to me.
It's a really good game to just play in short bursts every now and then.
Someone. Can't you do something?
I'd better put a stop to that getaway
The actual main game, like the story, isn't that amazing. Like, it's fun to play and you get the abilities. Most of the time you just have to keep earning enough points to carry on to the next section. But the swinging and the fighting are great.
Hey, look out! Here comes Spider-Man!
I don't know how I'm doing any of this.
I think you zigged when you should have zagged.
The most annoying thing about this game is the amount that enemies block. I died again. Only in my videos, dude. Only in my videos. It's just really uncomfortable to kind of like use the L whilst doing certain moves. But whatever. This is not a video about skill. This is just a video to test these games. And Spider-Man 2 is very playable. I'm actually kind of annoyed because I did a PlayStation 2 video once. It was the other day, and I was recording this bit, and some really funny things happened, and I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool for the video, but then I ended up scrapping the video. Oh no, that's not what happened. What ended up happening is I had to take a break, and I come back to the video, I start recording again, but what happened is I forgot to press record. I didn't get any of it. I was so pissed. Alright, that's Spider-Man 2. We're already over an hour here, so I think there's only one more game I was going to test. Yeah, it's Timesplitters 2. And the settings we have here, you need hardware download mode disabled to get this one running well. So here we have, we're not even underclocking. We didn't even change the Vulkan. We just put hardware download mode disabled. And what that means is when you see, what's going to happen in this game, for example, is when you see lights, they're going to show through all the walls. Like you can see them like that. They're just shining through. As long as that doesn't bother you, you can play this game very, very smooth. Oh, fuck. Oh, he's not too fussed. Dude, I can't play FPSs on controllers anymore. I just can't. It has to be mouse and keyboard or VR. Absolutely love VR. Nah, just buggered it up. I think I have auto aim turned off as well. And you see, with these older games, I think I'd prefer to have it on. Like, I can't be asked to press the aim button and get, like, finer aiming going on. Yeah, see all those lights? If I was to turn hardware download mode back to regular, the game would run very slow. But those lights would be back to normal. Oh my god, I hate playing shooters on controllers. If I was like laying down and I was a bit more comfortable, I could probably do this a bit better. In fact, I should... Would it be in preferences? Auto aim is on. No, it's not. What? I remember in GoldenEye, like, the gun would start veering towards the character. Well, okay, unfortunately some of the gameplay has been a bit miserable, but these are the games I've tested on PlayStation 2 so far. It's mostly quite promising. And that's really awesome, dude. For the price of the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus, and what it can do, there's a lot it can do. And it does it quite well. Huh? Oh, I gotta press A. So, let's have a look at these other games for a moment. Just a quick roundup. So yeah, Burnout 3 needs these patches applied. It's like one patch and you have to add in this code, so I'll add the links in the description. There's like this I forget the name of it now. It's PS2 patch engine, and then you have to like get the regular ISO, so it can't be like a compressed one, it has to be as it was, and then you have to apply this code, patch it into the ISO, and then you can compress it again if you like to save space. Chaos Legion needs hardware download mode off. Some of these games need it off to play as well as they do. There's probably some here that'll be like, oh, I wish you tested that, but I think I've shown with each game the stuff you kind of need to do to test for yourself how you get it working well. Matrix Path of Neo, I remember this on Odin, you had to put it in Vulkan for it to run smoothly, but because this needs to be Vulkan anyway, probably ideal for that game. I'd like to test Rogue Galaxy actually. That was struggling a bit on the Odin, but it's a really cool game I'd like to play someday. But yeah, this isn't. I have like quite a few more PlayStation 2 ISOs, but I didn't want to just fill up my SD card with everything. I thought there was some stuff I wanted to test and maybe some stuff I might get around to someday. But yeah, that's literally my PlayStation 2 video on the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus. I hope that was a little bit insightful. I hope it helped you out. If you're curious about some stuff, look for the links in the description. So I'll link to the latest build of AetherSX2, the alpha build, which I'm using. These get updated now every like few weeks to a month. So always look for a new build if you can. I watch a YouTuber called Mr. Sujano who updates a lot of emulation stuff almost daily, which is incredible. And yeah, I'll link to Burnout 3's thing and anything else I can think of. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe. There's a bell button if you want to see more content from me. Maybe I'll get around to doing some more Retroid Pocket 3 videos. So thank you very much and have a good day. I'll see you around. Bye bye.